Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today makes it 1 year since the invasion of Russian soldiers in Ukraine. So sit back while I talk about my experience.
Chill with Big Funky.
Welcome back. So before I start, I want to officially give 1 minute silence, a minute silence to the fathers, brothers, sons, uncle, nephews, to the brave men of Ukraine who fought and lost their life trying to save their country. So basically, I'm going to set a timer to make sure it's a minute. All right, so 1 minute silence. Let's make this official. Let's pay respect to those who lost their lives. So it's officially 1 minute. Thank you for joining me in paying respect to the dead, to the brave men of Ukraine, and also to other nationalities who lost their life fleeing Ukraine. The 1 minute silence is for all of you. So basically now I'll be talking about my experience. So, well, how will I say it? It's been crazy though. It was a crazy experience, I must say. On the 24th of February, I was sleeping in my apartment and I got a call from a friend, and it was a panic call anyways, and called me up and he said, "Funky Bear, what's up? What's happening in your area?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about," because I lived in Kiev and he was living in Kharkov. So he called me and he said, like, "Can't I hear the noise, the bombing sound?" And no, I can't. And he told me to pay attention. This is over the phone, and I could hear the sounds of bomb exploding, the sounds of explosion around. And I said, "Wow, that's crazy, what's going on?" He said he does not know. So I said, "All right, let me check around and see my area if I can see people running around." So immediately I dropped the call. It wasn't up to 2 minutes I dropped the call. I heard a loud explosion. A loud explosion. I called him back immediately and I was like, I heard the noise too, like it's happening in my city, that's Kiev, the capital city. And he was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, okay. What I told him basically on the phone was, don't be scared, that I guess what's going on happened in 2014, it's not going to happen again. But I never knew it was going to get worse, like crazy. You understand? So it happened at 5 a.m. We had to wait for the sunlight to come up, and I came outside through the balcony of my apartment and I saw a lot of people on the street. And you know, it was winter, it was cold. This is February. And I put on my jacket, I came up to the streets and I saw a lot of people running around, people with the bags. A lot of people at the supermarket were buying a lot of food and everything. And to me, it didn't sink in at first. Honestly, it didn't sink in at first that this is crazy. I was thinking like, why is everybody panicking? This has happened before, and it's gonna be over soon. I understand. So I saw a lot of Africans, you know, people I knew in my area, taking up their bags and every other thing. And I said to them, like, "Why are you guys running so? Why so much luggages?" And like, they're running away, there is war going on. And I said to them, like, if there is really war going on, do you think these bags you're carrying is going to make your journey lighter? What if there's an explosion and you need to run? Take what is valuable to you. Take the little things that are valuable to you, and all these things you have with you, you can buy them back again and leave. That's what my advice to them was, to travel light. Understand? So I called up my friend that owned a car. He owns 2 cars, and I'm like, all right, yo, what's up? What's going on? Your second car, is anybody going to use it? And he told me he sold it already. I was like, damn, crazy. And I said, okay, what's your next plan? Is your car filled up? He said yes, because he has a wife and family. I'm like, wow, crazy. So I got a friend of mine, was in Nigeria, Ukraine, but he traveled to Nigeria for his wedding. So he called me immediately and I was like, what's going on? What's happening? And I asked him for his car, and he told me basically that I could go take his car from his house. So I had to meet up with his cousin basically, and when I went, crazy, his car needed servicing, and I was like, wow, I can't travel with the car because I need to change the oil, I need to service the car basically. And I told him like, I can't travel with the car. He said, I don't care, wherever the car takes you to, if it breaks down, I don't care, I want you to be alive. Well, that's a good friend. He didn't really care about this car though, he cared about me. That was touching, but emotions were everywhere. People didn't really care what's going on. Everybody wanted their loved ones to be safe. So I drove the car from his building back to my house, and I told him like, it's not possible, I won't be able to move with your car. So then later, I didn't travel that day, I didn't move that day. So later at night, they started putting out these sirens, and they told people to go under the bomb shelter, because every building in Ukraine has a bomb shelter. In like every building in Ukraine has a bomb shelter basically. All right, so we and a couple of people around my area, we went into the bomb shelter. We were there for the night. Like I spent the night in the bomb shelter, the first night in the bomb shelter. So I went back home, I took sleep. Then basically I was still waiting for it to like wear off. Then that was when I started seeing war tanks. Okay, basically I saw tanks, they were moving, and this was my first time seeing a jet fighter. All right, this jet fighter basically flew over my building. My building was a 5-story building, and I can tell you the jet fighter was this low, and it was fast and loud. So it flew too actually, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I went back into the house, trying to, talk to people, try to organize myself and how to leave. Then I heard a loud explosion. This explosion was so loud, it sent a shock wave that shook my building. My building literally shook, like, you understand? And that was when I knew it was time to leave. So I went into the shower, took a shower, I called a taxi. I didn't care how much the taxi was going to take, but I'm not going to talk about how much I paid for the taxi, but it was expensive, way expensive. So I didn't really care how much the taxi was. So I picked up my passport, then I took my gym bag with few clothes in it, just in case, and went straight to the train station. When I got to the train station, that was when it officially dawned on me that, wow, this is crazy. It was filled up. A lot of military personnel were there, and actually they were only asking for women and children, that all the guys should stay behind. The men were going to stay behind, women and children first. Like, this is crazy. So we tried helping a lot of women with Africans, African lady, other nationalities that were ladies were up in the train, and I was literally helping to get these women on the train to leave. So me and a couple of guys, we sat down and we're talking. So there was this whisper going around saying that the men were supposed to stay behind to fight the war, that they were sharing guns. And in me, I started laughing because I don't have any military training, of course. I've never shot a gun before, and I've never been in a war, so no experience at all. So how would this work out? So basically, we also heard that these were for just Ukrainians, and I'm like, all right, fine. So later that same day, but way middle of the night, we took a train to Lviv. The train was so filled up that I stood for more than 10 hours. It took us over 10 hours to get to Lviv. And when we got to Lviv was crazily packed. Like, a lot of people were packed in Lviv because Lviv shares border with Poland. So everybody were heading towards Poland. Like literally everybody was heading towards Poland. And it was scary. A lot of students were crying. I helped a lot of students like interpret to the driver that was going to take them to the Poland border. They paid a lot of money for that too. So literally I helped interpreting for people, like helping students. Like literally people were coming to me since they understood I could speak the language. They were coming to me to help them interpret, speak, negotiate on the price for them to get to Poland border. So basically after doing that, I was standing throughout. I literally stood for, I'm not going to forget, I literally stood for more than 25 hours without sitting down. Literally, like literally without sitting down. I was on my feet for over 25 hours. So later we heard that Uzhgorod was a nearby city and it was peaceful. So me and a couple of guys, we hopped on the train and we moved to Uzhgorod. So when we got to Uzhgorod, there were a lot of people in Uzhgorod. A lot of people in Uzhgorod. So people were trying to use Slovakia border and the Hungarian border too. So, and me, I was, what I cared about was a place to sleep, a place to lay down my head and sleep literally because I was tired. And we heard that there was no space in the town, that the hotels were fully booked and all that. And in February, Ukraine is cold. The winter period is crazily cold. And when we got to Uzhgorod, Uzhgorod felt like minus 50. Literally, I'm not joking. It was really, 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 really cold. So, and the train station did not have a heater. The train station was cold. So basically what I did, because an idea came to my head, what I did was go get water with my friends. We bought water basically. So we came back to the train station and we asked the officials at the train station to get us an electric jug. So she said there was. So we turned the water into the electric jug, boiled the water, and when the water got hot, we put them back in the bottle and took the hot water directly to have a direct contact with our skin actually though. So it was really, really hot, like it could burn your skin, but we had to like soldier up it, put it in and, you know, close up the jacket to keep the body warm. So that's how we stayed warm overnight again at the train station, which was crazy. And I got hungry, so I took a taxi into the city to get pizza. All right, so the lady that served me the pizza, I walked up to her and I was like, I needed a place to stay. We needed a number for a place to stay. So she gave us a number, we called, and thank God it was an hotel and we had a place to stay. So I paid for 5 days in the hotel, basically 5 days so I could rest. I was in Uzhgorod for 4 days. And on the fourth day, the fourth night, the police officers came to the hotel and there was a big bang on the door of my hotel, like a big bang, 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 bang. So I opened the door, I was scared. These police were all suited up, covered their face, like crazily huge guys. And they were doing like mandatory check-in for people in the town and know their status and all that based on, it was state of emergency, and they were all checking in to know the status of everybody living in Uzhgorod at that point in time. So I showed them my passport, every other thing. I told them I was a student, or I showed them my ID card. So they told me like it would be safe for me to leave Ukraine while this war is going on. Okay, so they gave me an advice to leave, that it was the best thing to do. So the next day I called the taxi and the taxi took me to the Hungarian border. So when I got to Hungarian border, I got into Budapest. Actually, Budapest was the first place I went to. So we lodged in an hotel in Budapest. I met a lot of people there too. So basically, I was in Budapest for a week trying to get the 3 months. They were given 3 months, yeah, for people to stay, 3 months stay in Budapest. So we tried getting the 3 months. It became impossible to get because there were a lot of people. And we heard that Germany was accepting people and registering people, because all what we cared about was to look for a country to be registered in, so we don't turn out to be illegal immigrants in the country. So me and a couple of friends, we made a decision together to go to Germany. So we went to the train station, got a ticket, normal procedure. The first city we got to was Hamburg. when we got to Hamburg, we stayed in an hotel too. Hamburg is a beautiful city. Trust me, it is beautiful. Great city. And you know, we did a little bit of, you know, walking around, going to the immigration office. So when we got to the immigration office, there were a lot of people, like a lot of people. And we heard that we had to spend the night there to be able to, you know, get a number to meet up with the line. And trust me, it was very, very cold in Hamburg at that point in time. And I said to myself, I'm not going to go through this stress anymore. So a couple of me and the friends that came to Hamburg, we made a decision. Some decided to go to Sweden, one decided to go to France, the other decided to go to Ireland. And I said to myself, like, I'm tired of traveling around like it's crazy. I'm not going to do it anymore. So basically I came back to Berlin. And when I got to Berlin, I went up to meet the Help Ukraine. There was a stand for Ukrainians who were in distress, like they'll render help, a place to stay, give you food to eat and all that. So I went to them and I said, I'm from Ukraine, showed them my passport, my ID card and every other thing, and I'm in distress and I needed a place to stay. So they took us to a particular place. It was close to the airport. So I was there for 2 nights. Then I got a call from a friend. After spending 2 nights there, I got a call from a friend, and he told me where I was, if I registered in Berlin already, and I told him no. So he told me to come down to Aachen. Basically, that's the city where I am right now. So that's how I found myself in Aachen. It was easy to get registered in Aachen because immediately I got into Aachen today. The next day I got registered. I was like, wow, you understand? It was easy. So I got registered in Aachen. We were given a place to stay. We were fed and all the stuff like that. And honestly, it's been a year. Let me say, like, next month March is going to make it a year in Aachen. So it's been 11 months. Basically, so far, experience in Germany is great. Germany people are very accommodating. Well, I would still talk about my experience in Germany though, because it's not all rosy, but so far I commend the effort of the German government for, you know, accepting us and giving us a place to stay, harboring us, and, you know, making us have another chance to life. Because basically most people that came to Germany, we are starting our lives all over again. So this has been my experience so far, and what I'll be doing is I'll be going around talking to a couple of people, and, you know, for them to share their experience. Since it's been a year, I'm thinking the trauma from the war might have reduced a little bit, and I'm sure they are ready to talk. So basically my channel will be more about that, and, you know, you get the chance to, you know, listen to other people and their experience, what they went through. Mine wasn't so crazy, but I want to, like, get to know what other people's experience were. So thank you very much for coming with me this far. Honestly, I'm happy I'm able to do this, to start this channel, to talk about things, and also thank you for watching, staying tuned and growing with me with this channel. So you take care of yourself. Thanks for watching the video up to this point, and make sure you subscribe, push the like button and your notification button so you get a notification when next I upload the video. Thank you very much. Make sure you have a great day, and as you all know, peace out.